Going to be very deadly for him if you're not careful. Oh, and there he loses the Dragoon. Poor, unfortunate. And this is sort of what I was saying about. Oh, all the Dragoons go down. That is so unfortunate. He's clearly a retired player and just not on top of his macro in order to do that. If he was in his heyday, if this was Kingdom from several years ago, if this was Kingdom from 5 or 6 years ago, he would have easily cleared that minefield out and just continued to push. But unfortunately, just not quite up to snuff anymore, and he loses those 3 Dragoons. And now Nada going to the 12 o'clock position, making sure that Kingdom has not thrown up an expansion there. He might even mine it up just to make it just to be more annoying. Yeah, it does look like he's mined that up just to be more annoying. And Kingdom really should at this point start thinking about where to throw up his third base. Probably as soon as he gets observers, I gotta think that he's going to immediately start searching for a place to throw up his third base. You do not want to sit here 2 base on 2 base for too long if you're the Protoss player in a PvT. And he is getting his forge up. You usually see the forge coming up a little bit later. Usually when the third base comes up is when you see the forge, but he's going for slightly earlier than normal here. And he's probably going to get a cannon or 2 just in case for those vulture harass. And he just doesn't want to lose any probes unnecessarily. And these 2 Dragoons are going down for Kingdom. He tried to do a mine drag with one of them, but unfortunately it was not successful. It died before it could really drag the mine. So definitely some poor Dragoon play by Kingdom. A bunch of these Dragoons are just dying to mines, which is pretty much free kills for the mines. It does not cost much at all for a Terran player to produce these mines. They're cheap as hell and very, very cost efficient if you're not careful. And Kingdom's definitely given Nada the advantage in terms of efficiency of kills. And 4 vultures are actually going to bypass Kingdom's going to get across this bridge, going to see the photon cannons, going to try and get into the main base and see if he's going to get a full scout in, that's for sure. There's Dragoons everywhere here and there, and they're actually going to pick off all these. Oh no, he's not going to get a full scout, only going to see the outside of the base. But now he's got to be careful with that. Oh, that mine went off too, I think. Yeah, that mine went off too. Poor Kingdom, just losing Dragoons and taking a lot of damage to all these stupid mines of Nada. Nada's doing a great job of picking all this stuff up. And now the Vulture coming up to the 12 o'clock position, going to try and kill this probe before it can even throw up a Nexus, and it's going to go down. That probe's going to go down, which means Kingdom's going to have to spend time building and sending another probe up there. There's no observer there at the moment. I think it might be moving into that position now. But that means that it's going to take even longer for poor Kingdom to get a Nexus up in that position. Now we see the Vulture being loaded, Zealots being loaded up into a shuttle for Zealots, so that's probably going to be for Zealot bombs, probably predicting that there's going to be some sort of a push coming in, or it could be a 4 Zealot drop. 4 Zealot drops can be pretty effective in their own right. But we'll see how he decides to use it. I'm trying to watch for the shuttle, trying to make sure that we don't miss what happens to that shuttle in any way, shape, or form. And Vultures for Nada just scouring across the map, moving here and there across, just making sure that there aren't probes in random position, trying to throw up hidden expansions or anything of the sort. Nada just trying to play very safe here at this point. I'm going to try and maybe tighten a ring around Kingdom, throwing down some more mines, and they're not going to be very successful. This time Kingdom came out better in that little engagement, killing several Vultures and not losing anything down in these mines. But I think what Nada's trying to do is just trying to set up a contain here. If he can bring up a few tanks, he might be able to start putting up a really strong contain, because there's a lot of mines already out. There are some Vultures in the field already, and if he can get some tank supplements, he will be in a really, really good spot. Several cannons also being placed at the 12 o'clock position in order to defend that Nexus from any sort of a Vulture harass. Importantly, though, I think that the Vultures might be able to get bypass the cannons completely, go to behind the mineral lines. So if, say, 6 Vultures or so just went and tried to do a run by go behind the mineral lines, I don't think those cannons are actually going to reach. I might be wrong on that, but I think there should be some room mech there for Nada if he wants to do that. And Nada throwing up a missile turret now at the 9 o'clock position. I think that will end up also being a command center. That will probably be his next expansion. Terran players like to expand towards Protoss as we get into the later games, trying to keep the pressure on the Protoss player and just keep expanding in their direction while you macro up, and just try and ring the noose around the Protoss player. And that SUV is going to build a command center. Yay! An armory going up as well, probably for upgrades. Can't see any other real reason for that other than upgrades. Only 1 machine shop? That might have been no, I still think that's only 1 machine shop so far for Nada, still dedicating himself very much to these Vultures and these spider mines, not even really bothering with too many machine shops and too many tanks at all. Pylon and a pseudo and 1 cannon wall at the top right to try and hold off these Vultures, as Kingdom tries to throw up a 4th base here in the top right. I don't know if he's going to be successful. I think there might have been a mine there, but it looks like the mine was cleared, so yeah, okay, he will be able to throw up a base there pretty soon. As soon as he decides to, as soon as he has the resources for it. And he actually is going to be able to push these vultures away. Those vultures, that vulture harass was unsuccessful by Nada. But Nada still is in a pretty good spot here, throwing up his 3rd base while Kingdom looks like he's getting ready for his 4th base. Not really sure why that really should be started by now. Interesting that it's not. I don't know where his probe went. Oh, I think that his probe might have died to a vulture there in the top right corner. I think a vulture might have snuck up there or had been sitting there for a while, and it picked off the probe. So that means that once again, Kingdom's gonna have to bring a probe all the way back, and not making a push at the 12 o'clock position with a bunch of vultures. Might be going for a run by here. He might be doing exactly what I suspected, but no. Those 3 cannons are making too tight a little block there for it to really be worthwhile to, or is not determined to be worthwhile to try and do that. And now Nada went up onto that ridge that'll go to the expansion of Kingdom, and he's trying to break down this pylon wall, but there are Dragoons in the back. There's probably going to be Dragoons in the front as well pretty soon to block this off. There's going to be Zealots to block. Yeah, that's going to be completely unsuccessful by these vultures. They're just going to get completely destroyed. I think they might have killed one Zealot or so. But Kingdom doing a really good job of stopping Nada from getting any sort of a real good economic harass with all of this dedicated vulture play. Surprisingly enough, the Tornado Terran unable to really wreak the havoc that he normally does with his vultures. His vulture play is so good that usually you see at least 1 or 2 successful runs by these vultures they'll just pop in and kill 6 to 10 probes and just really put the Protoss player on the back foot. But Kingdom has done such a good job of holding it up. And I want to note a couple of Stargates were going up in the top right corner. We'll see whether this is for Arbiter play or straight for carriers. I really have no idea. I didn't see a Templar. Haven't seen any Templar tech, so I'm actually thinking that this might be for carrier, since he doesn't have the requisite pre-tech in order to get Arbiter Tribunal up. I'm sure that the observers will show us any second now. I think the building just went down. Go show us. Go show us! I get mad at people sometimes. That's okay. And looks like Nada is once again sending another force of vultures into that area. Actually, they're going to go to the 3 o'clock base and try and kill all these Dragoons that are there. That's a lot of vultures against a lot of Dragoons. And if Kingdom is up for it, he might be able to do pretty well. Okay, it looks like Nada's just going to back off here and not press that too much. There was a pretty small gap there, and Kingdom was taking advantage very much. So 3 Stargates and the Fleet Beacon. So this is going to be for carriers. And it got scanned. Nada knows this is coming. The armory is already up, which means he's going to go to all his factions, go GG, and start pumping out massive numbers of Goliaths. And that is bad news for Kingdom. Dedicating 3 Stargates and the Fleet Beacon already, and it gets scouted out before he even started a single carrier. This is going to be ugly, I think, folks. I think this might be really ugly for Kingdom with that early of a scout out on it. I think Nada will be very prepared, and here comes Nada. Nada's going to start pushing now. He looks like he is in a good position to start. He is happy, and he's go. Okay, maybe not pushing. I thought he was going to push out. I saw most of the siege tanks unsiege and then start moving up, but it looks like this is going to be a slow push, and it looks like Kingdom might be trying to get kind of a flank maneuver. If Nada tries to push in and try and set up a contain, and he's going to try and get some forces in the back and try and squeeze, try and get some. Okay, now Kingdom coming in for an attack with a lot of speed loss and Dragoons. No Templar key enough, and now comes the shuttle with the Zealot bombs, dropping Zealots here and there. Haven't been really all that successful. He was dropping the Zealots in the front. I don't know how that successful that really was, but the entire front has gone down for Nada. All the front tanks, all the front, everything has gone down, but he might be able to hold this small choke. There is still a very tight choke, and still more tanks in the back. Yeah, there were a ton of tanks in the back, and that was a very Zealot-heavy army for Kingdom, so he put a lot into that pushback. A lot of Zealots went into that, and